Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to day 9 of Fluid Chronicles, my Florida journey. I am coming before you late in the hour, but I was determined to come before you and stick to this commitment and keep to this. Um, so I will be brief before you in sharing. Let's get started with breathing. Not going to cheat myself or cheat you out of what we will go through, even though the hour is late. But again, this breathing technique or the fact of taking time to take breaths, intentional breaths, can truly be done at any time and can make a difference anytime that you do it. So that's what we're going to do now. I encourage you and ask you to join in with me, whether you're here live or on replay. Pause and take the time to breathe. So we're going to take some deep breaths. These breaths are given recognition of being given a new day. We will slowly inhale and exhale on a 4 count. And here is an example of that. We'll breathe in, inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause or hold. That just means be still. So we'll do that. And while you're doing it, be present to each breath, taking time to feel the breath enter and leave your body. So let's do a few together. And you can close your eyes. Inhale and exhale. Just like that. You can count in your head. And this time I'm going to say a few words to be thought provoking and to move energy through you as we do it. So here we go. Inhale, gratitude and peace of mind. And exhale, distractions. Inhale, joy and abundance. And exhale, unforgiveness, ill thoughts, and weight of others. Inhale, goodness and wholeness. And exhale, blockage and negativity, negative energy. Now let's do one more. Breathing through your nose and releasing sound from your mouth on the exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Ooh, didn't that feel good? I could feel the release of tension. I didn't even realize that my shoulders were even still a little bit up. So I was like this, if you can see me. And now I'm relaxed like this. And so taking a deep breath, pausing, taking those pause moments and those peace moments that we've been talking about, stopping what you're doing in the midst of needing to take a conscious breath. You will see the release if there's any weight or tension built up. Just could be from rushing through your day. You will see your shoulders come down into a more relaxed state, and it'll show you what you've been holding not taking a deep breath. We breathe, yes, breathe naturally. You're going to breathe, but there's something about taking that conscious, deliberate breath. It's taking a fuller, deep breath. So thank you for doing that exercise with me, for breathing with me, for my gratitude share today. I said that I'm grateful for my niece Alyssa. And today's her birthday too. I just realized that is her birthday also. I'm grateful for her being able to be there for my sister yesterday and this week. Grateful for friends that know how to get a prayer through and respond when you call. I'm grateful for my nieces and nephew. That's my twin nieces and my nephew, Jose, for their father being available to my sister and for him having a mounting, moving spirit. He has a mounting, moving spirit when it comes to his kids. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that. And I am just feeling thankful, full of thanks. So that's my new little play on words. Thankful. So as I shared yesterday, I'm going to do this some of the days, not necessarily every day, but I do share a quote of the day, a gratitude share of the day, and a claim statement every day, as well as a scripture every day inside of the Iris's Shared Nuggets group on Facebook. So you can go there and look back at past days and see all the different posts I've made with quotes and scriptures and gratitude shares. Those are there. So I'm going to share today's. The quote for today said, even though you might not be able to see your dream yet, when you're in bliss, you are on the very path that will lead you to it. And that's an unknown author. So that quote, when I read it, that quote reminds me that it's not about what you see, but what we don't see. It reminds me not to be afraid of the unseen or the unknown, and to embrace the unexpected and indifference. It just might surprise us by being just what we need when we do that. And that what seems wrong or like a mistake just might be right or lead us to the right thing. Yeah. So the claimant statement, today's claimant share, gratitude share is, I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. So this statement is very true for me. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. Daily, I thrive to keep growing and evolving. It is a challenge to grow and learn new things about self in general. On the days that we don't feel like ourselves or want to do anything, and we do, most often turns out to be the better days. They somehow feel more rewarding. That's just something that I've noticed. Maybe it's just me. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or if that has happened to you, or if it's one of those thoughts or statements that make you say, might be some truth to that. Let me know your thoughts on it. So for my fluid Chronicles share for today, see, I'm taking another exhale. So my share for today is that today I was totally off, totally off, totally off. The day was nothing like I expected it to be or planned it to be, or when I started this week, thought I'd be doing on Thursday. But however, I did end up doing one thing that I planned to do today. And that was because it was a locked in time commitment to my students. I'm on a board for a youth organization, and we have a cohort of scholars that will go from ninth to 12th grade. And they're in the sophomore year now. They're sophomores. So we had them last year and we have them this year. In addition to being on the board of the organization, I'm an I'm an instructor for one of the skills classes, career development classes, and I'm an advisor to a few of the students. I had a group last year and I have a small group this year. So today was the kickoff of the advisory group sessions. So it was the first check-in meeting with my small advisement group. I'll be working with them virtually for the school year. Um, and I may have needed that session more than they did. I had a little bit of anxiety, not knowing what to expect for one of the tasks that we had scheduled. Because it was the first session, we did a kind of get to know you exercise. And more so like a refresher because it's the second year, we already know one another and they already know one another because they're part of the same cohort. So it was more like a refresher. Um, the new school year, reconnecting, where are we now from the last time? And this is the first time with me. They weren't part of my advisement last school year. Anyway, the activity gave them the opportunity to ask me, to ask the advisor any questions they chose from a list, a long list of questions we gave them. Now, the teacher, the teacher in me tried to prepare. I went through the list of questions at least 3 times over the last week, trying to think which out of these questions might they ask me? What questions could they pick? And even trying to prepare myself to answer the questions. But because it's a long list and I really don't have a clue, they all would get a chance to ask me questions. And I really didn't know which questions they were asked. And so rather than trying to prepare how I would respond, I just decided to give up on that because I had no clue. And I said, well, I'll just be vulnerable and be present in the moment, present to them, and just keep it real. So, of course, right before the session, I started rethinking it and overthinking it like, oh my God, what if I don't have an answer for the question that they asked me? Should I go back over these again? But my connection was moving slow and I wanted to be in the Zoom session before they signed in. And so I didn't get to go back to the questions. I got to open it, of course, in preparation. I had all the documents and the links and everything ready for them because I had to give them the link to it. So I had everything ready, but I didn't get to like go through and start thinking about answers. And so it's a little bit of anxiety there. And we I just let it go as we started the session and just got into it as we had different things that we went over. Of course, kind of an icebreaker, what you did over the summer, talked about all of that. And then we got into this part. So it was very interesting. It was very interesting. Um, and it turned out good. It turned out good. It was an enjoyable experience for us all. And they appreciated my candid in the moment response. And a few of them, a few of those questions I really had to think on. and even asked for a minute to think about it before I answered. So they got a kick out of that. I let them know when it was a hard question for me or a challenging question, or like, "Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I don't know. Wait, let me think about it." So it was that kind of moment, just very real and in the moment. And a few of them even made me feel old. I was like, "Oh my God." So, for example, one of the girls asked, the question was on the sheet because I had to look back, like, is that even on there? She said, "What TV show would I want to be on? Was there a TV show that I liked that I really would want to be on if I had the opportunity?" And so I thought about it for a minute, and I gave them whatever answers came to me. I didn't try to overthink it. I was in the moment and present, so I gave them what came up. And don't ask me why. And you may not know this show either, but come on, some of you got to know this show. So the show Fame, it was the dance about the performing arts school. The students went to the performing arts schools, and they were dancers. And Debbie Allen was the dance teacher, and it was like, "Fame, I want to live forever." Okay, I'm not a singer, you already know, but I'm prone to bust out in a wrong note. Anyway, so I chose the TV show Fame and A Different World. And they started laughing. And and I said, "Yeah, A Different World." I said, "Do y'all know either of those shows?" And so they started laughing and they were like, "No." I was like, "Oh my God, I feel so old right now." Anyway, so I gave them the backdrop of both shows. And I was like, "Well, come on." A Different World was a spinoff of the Cosby Show, and then one of them was like, "Oh," like she heard of it, and so I challenged them to go to YouTube or to Google them and look them up, and to come back and tell me what they thought. So yeah, A Different World spinoff from the Cosby Show, based on the college students going to Spelman. So all of that just gave them the backdrop, and we laughed about that. I couldn't believe they had no clue. They was like, "No, I absolutely don't know them." I thought they would at least know A Different World. I didn't really expect them to, but in any case, they know of it now, and they'll have a good chuckle if they hear of it again, if they decide to go and look them up, if they check them out. So I'll check with them next session and see. But we all got a good kick out of that, the whole session. And then I got to turn it around and ask them some of the questions and stump them a little bit. And then we had a share on how they felt about the exercise, the activity. And I wasn't the only one that had some anxiety. One of them, like, she don't like asking questions and responding. And so, it was a really nice exchange, and I got to again be vulnerable and let them know that I was feeling anxiety before it, not knowing what they were going to ask me and how I was going to answer. And so it, it's it's a cool place to be sometimes, especially when you're getting to know or starting a relationship with a group that you have to continue to work with. So I really enjoyed that. So I said that that was the only thing that I did that I expected or planned to do today. But I guess now, having or doing my broadcast, I can say I did another or completed another commitment that I made for today. So, as well, doing this broadcast. So, that's awesome. That's pretty much all that I'm going to share tonight. Um, I didn't get much sleep last night. I spent most of my night and my day to day back and forth on the phone with family, checking on my sister and making sure everything's good with her and some tests that she's having been doing. And I expect to get some sleep tonight. This to sharing and getting to reflect now is lifting my spirit. And I'm going to prepare to get a good rest tonight. And I'm going to wish you an awesome rest of your Thursday night, the few minutes that's left, and an awesome Friday to come. This has been day 9 of Fluid Chronicles, my Florida journey. Just sharing moments and thoughts within my day of this journey, using this platform as a transparent outlet. I'm grateful for the space to release a little, and I'm glad you're on this ride with me. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. Continue with me. Let's see together what comes out of it next. Look for me on podcasts on Spotify, Anchor, Castbox, and your choice of podcast source. Look for me on Iris's Shared Nuggets group and Queen Irie Writers Corner on Facebook and on all other social media at Queen Irie. Until tomorrow, thank you for tuning in. Good night. Peace.